That was without Steph. It was without Draymond. That said, are there still things from the film that are applicable tonight?
Yeah, the number one thing is that they're really good. Chris has done a hell of a job with their team. They've got a real identity. They're an athletic young team. They put a lot of pressure on you in transition, a lot of pressure on you on the offensive glass. They have a system that really suits them well, suits their personnel well. And they've had a really impressive season. D'Lo has looked great. He's been a great fit for them. And Towns has had an all-star season. So this is a really, really good team.
Steve, Draymond's got a TV gig now. Have you any words of wisdom for Draymond, and how's he going to do as an analyst for TNT?
My only words of wisdom is when he's analyzing, the Warriors, not to bash his coach. He can only wear one hat when he talks about the Warriors. He can't wear two. But it's going to be a great opportunity for him. I worked at Turner for 8 years, and they're wonderful people there. Great company, great vibe, and Draymond has already proven how good he can be on TV, and this will help him lay the foundation for his post basketball playing career. And I'm very confident that he'll be able to divide his duties up well and not lose anything on the court. Well, what we envisioned was that Wiggs would replace some of the length and athleticism that we had lost on the wings between Clay's injury, Sean Livingston's retirement, KD's departure, Andre's departure. We had lost so much defense and size on the wing. And so Wiggs fit the bill athletically and size-wise. And then, we just felt like he was still a young player and could fit into our system with time, that he would learn how to play with Steph and Clay and adapt to some of the things we did, and then add some things that we didn't have. His ability to get downhill, get to the rim. We needed that too. So it just seemed like a really good fit, and it's proven to be that. But I think most of that is because Wiggs just comes in and works every single day, and he's earned not only the All-Star spot, but the position he mans on our team, which is our number one perimeter defender, night in and night out, and a key cog in our offense.
Even with all that, there have been any pleasant surprises in your mind with how he's been with you guys? Well,
I think this year his catch and shoot numbers are off the charts. He's at over 41%, I think, from three. And when he got here, he was more of a dribble shot guy. He needed to put the ball on the floor to get his rhythm, and he's really adapted well to what we've asked in terms of just catching and shooting or penetrating and moving the ball on. And at the same time, he's a guy who can get a shot at the end of the shot clock when nothing's going. So he's just been a great fit.
Steve, in preparing for Anthony Edwards last season compared to this season, how much more attention do you have to give him in the scout, and how has he grown in your eyes as a player from year one?
Well, I think the biggest thing is his maturity as a player. Like most guys, the second year becomes a lot easier than the first, just based on experience and knowing what you're facing. And I think Anthony looks just really comfortable and confident out there. Not that he didn't as a rookie, but he didn't, like most rookies, he didn't know a lot of stuff. There's so much to learn between personnel, scouting reports, to tendencies, both individual tendencies, team tendencies. I think he's picked up a lot of that stuff, and now he's just really playing with a lot of confidence.
Same starters tonight that you
yes
going with?
Yeah.
This is Andre's third straight missed game. Is this something that you have been kind of going day to day with him, or do you expect him to miss, a period of time with this injury?
We're hoping that he returns for the road trip. I don't expect him to play Saturday, and then we're hopeful that he'll return in Houston or San Antonio next week. So, I think when we signed Andre this year, we knew that the regular season would be filled with rest nights, and if he was banged up, we were going to hold him out. We were going to be very conservative because we'll need him in the playoffs. So this was all part of the plan. I think looking back, I made a mistake playing him 31 minutes against Indiana. I'd like to avoid that. I think that was too many. But all in all, we're going to handle the regular season with caution and hopefully have him ready to be a consistent presence in the playoffs.
Steve, there's considerable discussion among fans and other people around the league about, they look at Looney and they look at Wiseman's uncertainty, and the debate is, do the Warriors have enough size to compete in the postseason? Where do you stand in that discussion?
I feel good about it, our position there, because between Looney and Belly and Draymond, I think we've got options. Even Otto can play a small five. There aren't that many teams, frankly, that have an old school center like Joel Embiid. There aren't many of those guys around, and so the game is much smaller. I don't think it requires having an armada of big centers that you have to have on call, like even just a few years ago.
Steve, Gary wasn't known as a shooter when he got here, but he's been shooting it really, really well. What have you thought about his growth in that aspect of his game?
It's been great. He's worked really hard over the summer to revamp his shot, put the time in, started the season with a lot of confidence. And he's doing a great job of shooting the ones that he should shoot and passing up the ones that he should pass up, just understanding, what his role is. And as a result, he's getting great looks. The shots he shoots, he's generally open and in rhythm. And obviously, it's not the main reason he's out there. He's out there for his defense and his athleticism. But if he makes you pay because you don't guard him by making a three or a couple threes, it's kind of gravy. But I just think he's had a fantastic season, and the shooting is a big part of it.
Steve, it seemed like Clay really took a lot of pride in his passing the other night. And is that something you continue to see him do better? I know it's been 2.5 years. We haven't, I don't know how much he cared about that back in the day.
It was funny seeing Jonathan's quote the other night. Yeah, he said, I watched him growing up. I never saw him do that.
Yeah.
Like out of the mouths of babes. Clay's always been capable of the drive and kick, and that's a huge part of our offense, especially now with this team, the way we're built. We have to attack teams with the drive and then the pass, and the way teams have guarded Steph the last couple of years, having Clay back as another weapon is just huge. And I thought the other night was the first time we were really able to employ all of our shooters at once, with Otto out there, with Clay, with Jordan, with Steph. And you could see the difference. Dallas has had one of the best defenses in the league this season. I think they're fourth in the league in defensive rating. They held us to 82 points just 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. But you get a bunch of shooters out there and a lot of drive and kick stuff. The game opens up quite a bit, and you got to make them. But I feel like we have the personnel to play that style, and Clay is a huge part of that.
All right, we just have time for one on Zoom. They got to get up to TNT. Go ahead, Dave Benz.
Hey, Steve, I know you touched on my broadcast partner, Jim Peterson, but I just wanted to ask how distracting the photos with the flowing locks of hair were. And if you think that just your thoughts in general about how cool it is that the Warriors are doing this and honoring players that aren't necessarily the Chris Mullins and the Tim Hardaways and the brand names. Jim always uses
I
playoff
heard
brand for Warriors history.
I only heard spots of that. What did the flowing locks of hair refer to?
For Jim
I was talking to
Peterson.
Jim.
Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, to Petey. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
distracting are those?
Yeah, there's a lot of great hairstyles as we commemorate Warriors from the past. But I got to know Jim a little bit, on the road back in the day because he was hanging with Tolbert, and so Tommy and I would go out and with Petey and have a couple of beers after the game. And what a great guy, fantastic broadcaster. Always loved listening to him on League Pass. And I also like him because I think our career stats mirror each other. So